New Trump is a lot like old Trump. Will 2016 tactics work in 2024? The calendar says 2024. But for his presidential campaign, the last few days have felt like 2016 all over again. Trump has ditched his post-assassination attempt unity argument and rebuffed calls from his party's elected stalwarts who'd prefer their presidential nominee focus on Democrats' policies. Instead, the former president, who hopes voters will send him back to the in November, has settled into a familiar series of deeply personal attacks on his opponent, including inflammatory remarks about race. Trump isn't just battling with his partisan rivals. He also continues to feud with wayward and focus on his personal obsessions, such as crowd size. The presidential nominee once was thought to be running a more disciplined campaign. But not anymore, as he struggles to adjust to facing instead of in a contest that just a few weeks ago seemed over and now is back to toss-up status. Key battleground states steadily are shifting away from outright favor as boosts enthusiasm, raises large sums of money, and draws big crowds. Unable to counteract momentum and increasingly lashing out with harsher attacks reminiscent of 2016, some in party view his latest tactics as counterproductive, even if they previously proved effective in delivering him the presidency. Trump should stick to issues and values and avoid demeaning personality attacks. Former U.S. a close Trump ally who was a finalist to be his running mate in 2016 told USA. The personal attacks boomerang and hurt. During a brief stretch following the July 13th assassination attempt, talked about unity and trying to bring the country together. But that didn't last long. He has since reverted to the cutthroat politics that characterized his first campaign. A rookie politician who had long been famous for his real estate and media ventures, shocked and offended much of the country 8 years ago from the moment he came down the escalator and declared his presidential bid with a screed against illegal immigrants. From there, belittled his way through the white campaign by mocking his primary opponents as low energy. And then, in the general election, Trump won in 2016 despite a long list of inflammatory remarks, from the tape that captured him bragging about grabbing women's genitals to disputing that now-deceased U.S. Senator John McCain was a war hero after his time as a prisoner in. Trump reprised his caustic 2016 campaign in 2020, but by then the incumbent president was facing significant backlash after 4 years of a chaotic and controversial that included investigation, an impeachment, and a mob of his supporters storming the U.S. on January 6, 2021, in an attempt to overturn the election results. He slammed as Sleepy repeatedly questioned his mental fitness and accused him of running a basement campaign for president during the deadly coronavirus pandemic. The president ended up losing states, such as that hadn't carried in years. Many in the have bristled at various times over approach, but most have eventually rallied around him. Fast forward to 2024, and Republicans are concerned that seems to be returning to that 2016 formula as he struggles to change the trajectory of the current race. He has questioned her racial identity and mocked her name, which has left some in the party uncomfortable and critics calling him racist. While much of what is done in the past was viewed as controversial, a mistake, or undisciplined, he often came away without being hurt politically, and in some cases his efforts may have even helped him. Some analysts believe tactics may be less effective now. They're going to have a hard time creating the same animosity toward in 2 months that created over 25 years, said a consultant and the former political director for the E, who argued has much less baggage than and will be harder to demonize. There's plenty of evidence to suggest that the unique approach to campaigning in 2016 could be problematic in 2024. Back then, many voters found slash-and-burn style to be refreshing, novel, and direct. 8 years later, analysts say, aggressive attacks come across as mean, repetitive, and out of touch. His shtick is getting kinda tired, said former